Seton, poll question for the final hour of this program.
Yeah, we're going to switch it up to baseball and go with Max Scherzer.
Okay.
Max Scherzer's ejection was excessive, accurate.
Okay. All right. So let me walk you through this. Max Scherzer pitches for the Mets, or at least he did for a little while yesterday, and then he got tossed from the game. So you're allowed to have rosin and mixed with sweat and gives you a little bit of a sticky feeling substance there. And that's legal. But the umpiring crew noticed something a little bit more, and maybe something that was now they're looking for the color of things. That's how you can tell if something's different. It was a darker shade on his glove. And they noticed that it was a little tackier, stickier. And then they thought, okay, and he's pleading his case, and he's saying, look, I didn't do anything wrong. It's rosin, it's sweat. And then he said, I'll go wash it off. So they have somebody go with him. He washes his hands, and they want him to change his glove. Well, then comes back out, and, everything's good. And then an inning later, they said, hey, you know what, we're gonna check him again. And then they check him again, and then they found that sticky substance again, and it's a little darker, and that's when they decided to run him. Here is Max Scherzer pleading his case, first of all, telling us what happened.
I'd have to be an absolute idiot to try to do anything when I'm coming back out for the fourth. So I'm in front of the MLB official that's underneath here. I wash my hand with alcohol in front of the official. I then apply a rosin, and then I grab sweat. When I then go back out there, and Phil Cuzzy says that my hand's too sticky. I don't get it. Yes, when you use sweat and rosin, your hand is sticky. I don't get how I get ejected when I'm in front of MLB officials doing exactly what you want and being deemed my hand's too sticky when I'm using legal substance. I do not understand that.
And then he went on to say this.
I said, I swear on my kid's life, I'm not using anything else. This is sweat and rosin, sweat and rosin. I keep saying it over and over, and they touch my hand, they say it's sticky. And yes, it is, because it's sweat and rosin. And they say it's too sticky. It's not, and they threw me out because of that.
Okay, and the umpire who threw out Max Scherzer has thrown out 3 pitchers. No other umpire has ever thrown anybody out for a sticky substance. But I think what may have led to him being ejected was, okay, you can have it on your hand, but he has something on his glove. And he can say, look, this is rosin and sweat on my hand. What do you have on your glove? Why else would you make him change his glove? Because they were noticing something, and it looked different in shading, in color. And they know what they're looking for. I mean, guys have cheated, for centuries with Major League Baseball pitching. And where do I put it? How can I go there? Can I do it in a way that I can hide it? And guys have tried in a variety of ways to do it. I don't know Max Scherzer. I don't know his history. He certainly sounds passionate in defending himself. But then it's not like he's going to go, all right, you got me. Of course he's going to. I wanted to hear Buck Showalter. And I did watch Buck Showalter, the manager, when he went out to the mound. Buck was really calm. Almost as if to say, man, can I defend my pitcher? Even though maybe I can't defend my pitcher? Feels like in that situation, you almost have to act like you're as mad as your pitcher is. Like, that's Max Scherzer. He's a Hall of Famer. He's not going to cheat. Well, there had to be enough there. Now, I don't know what happens with an appeal. I don't know if any of these pitchers have appealed this and if, it fell on deaf ears. But he didn't get suspended. He just got tossed. I don't know what he can say, plead his case. And, does Major League Baseball talk to this umpire to say, hey, tell us exactly why you would run him here? What was different? That's what I want to know. Yeah, Ton.
The appeal process does get slippery in situations like
okay,
that.
It's a stick, gets sticky. You should have got sticky, not slippery.
Bloop.
Yeah, it's a sticky situation. Yes, Paul.
Couldn't Max Scherzer have walked off after being ejected from the game, had someone take what was on his hand and glove and put it in a plastic bag and say, go ahead, test it. MLB, here it is. Here's what you've just kicked me out for. test what's in it. It's either, if it's not rosin and sweat, I'm out. And then you could decide this in 10 seconds. Dan Bellino is a home plate umpire, and they did an interview after the game. They talked to pool reporters.
Yeah.
There's no audio or video. It's just written. He says one of the reasons they kicked him out is, quote, "We know what rosin typically feels like in a pitcher's hand. We check every pitcher in every game, and everyone's using the same exact rosin bag that's approved by Major League Baseball. Pitchers don't have their own rosin bag. Everyone has the same. So it's really important," this quote, "so it's really important to understand that when they claim it's just rosin, every pitcher we check, we're accustomed to a certain rosin residue on the pitcher's hand. The fact that this substance went so much further was indicative that it was something more likely than rosin that was making it more sticky than any pitcher we had checked in the entire season." They are saying, the umps are saying, this was not straight rosin. Not just the location of it, but the material itself. They said it was so sticky that when I went to grab his hand, it like popped when his hand.
But he also said he had it on his non-pitching hand. Well, why would you have your non-pitching hand in a glove if you're going to use rosin? That, to me, didn't make sense. If you can use it, then you use it on your pitching hand. Why do I want it on my glove hand? And I think what the umpires were looking at is there's different places where you can hide it on your glove. The question is, how does it blend in with your glove? You know, guys will have a dark mitt because you can hide it a little bit. They'll also, where you have the eyelets on your glove, sometimes those are bent up where you can scuff the ball. I mean, there's so many different ways to cheat. But, they're saying to him, you can have rosin. There's something else here. Now, that's what needs to be identified here. But if you're warning him, and this happens all the time, by the way. It's not like they go, we're seeing something here. The last thing they want to do is slow down the game and bust him. But you see this now. Sometimes you don't even see it on TV. If you go to a game, they're inspecting the pitcher. Sometimes it'll be like, it's like a random drug test. Like, all right, come on over. Or you're going through TSA. I'm going to put you to the side here. How about they do that? Have you ever had that where they take that little cloth and they wipe you down your hand, your fingertips, and then they run it through? Maybe they could do that where, they don't want to slow the game down, so you can't do that. But they had to see something. They had to feel something, and that's the key. Yeah, Paul.
At the end of the interview, the umpire said, quote, "That's the point of emphasis to us. It was much more sticky than anything we'd felt this entire season. Not tacky, sticky. It sounds silly, but there's a difference between tackiness and stickiness." Yeah, they said it was not just a glob of stuff. It was actually...
But it was on his glove. Then they make him change his glove, and then he comes back out, and then they find it again on his glove. An inning later, I believe.
And he's saying he reapplied rosin and sweat legally with an official over his shoulder watching him in the dugout.
Yeah, I don't know. But to toss him, there has to be enough there because the other umpires could go. The home plate umpire can go, hey, no, I don't think there's enough here. For them to agree that they're going to run him?
I mean, I'd imagine he uses it on his glove hand because that's what you go to when you want to reapply it to your pitching hand. Right? I mean, I don't know if that's legal or not, but...
Well, so he puts rosin. Why not just do the rosin and sweat on your pitching hand?
Right.
Why do I have to have it on my... So I have to take my glove off to...
And if you have it like right towards your, like the bottom of your palm.
Yeah.
Like that's where you would hide illegal stuff.
Yes.
It's right there.
Yes.
But you could also have it over there. But one of his defenses was he was just like, it's not even on my hand. It's on my glove hand. Why would I? Whatever. It's like, well, then you just go to your glove hand, and then now it's back on your pitching hand.
Yes. So I can dab it, and now I have enough on my pitching hand. I like when, was it Garrett Cole, when they were saying that he was using that, Sport Tack or something, and he said, oh, Spider Tack. He goes, but I'm protecting the hitter. I don't want to throw a breaking ball and it won't break. I go, oh, okay. Very thoughtful.
This is safety. This is a safety issue.
Very.
I'm using steroids so I can carry furniture for people when they move.
And hit home runs.
Oh, yeah, not that.
Yes, Todd.
But Sean could be right. Maybe it's like a palette and a paintbrush where one side gets dry and you need to dip into the glove area to get a little more of the fresh, wet stuff that's now dried up on your pitching hand.
But how am I going to get the wet stuff if it's dried up?
if whatever you're doing with your pitching hand, if you're
Do you think that Max Scherzer was he cheating, Todd?
I'm going to say no.
All right. Seton?
Was he cheating? No. Was he probably bending the rules?
Oh, okay.
I'm a little more of a gray area guy here, Dan.
Marvin?
No.
Paulie?
There is a caveat in the rule that you're not allowed to mix rosin and sweat and sunblock.
Yeah.
He could have tons and tons of sunblock on him, and that's the extra material. I don't think he was cheating. Man, it's tough.
But like there are rules about
I wouldn't
like,
want to be his lawyer.
Yeah. When you're allowed to like how many times I wish I could find this real quick, but like when you're allowed to are you allowed to touch your neck and then go to the ball and then whatever? There's rules about that.
Yeah.
That you're not allowed to touch your hat and then your neck and then the ball or things like that.
You can grab your junk, you can't grab your neck.
Correct.
It doesn't say that in code 2.7. But that's true.
You went to your junk too many times.
Gotta run you.
Yeah. Well, that would be Todd's life. What are you going to say, Todd?
Should we have a pitch clock for the umpires where they only have 20 seconds to determine if someone's cheating? And if after 20 seconds they can't figure it out, then he's free to go back on the mound and do whatever he's doing.
Yes, Paul.
They kind of do. They have a brief period of time between innings to do their game check of the pitcher. They can't just sit there and make him wait.
I think he was exploring the rules. I think he was bending the ruls a little bit there.
Exploring is a lovely way to say it. I like that one. Exploring the parameters.
Yes. The Christopher Columbus of pitchers. I was exploring. Yes, Todd.
And what is it about the feel of rosin where you have to mix sweat with it? That line jumped out at me. I know it's within the rules, sweat and rosin, but he's like, I had the rosin and then I mixed some sweat with it. Like, why do you need to mix sweat with after you touch the rosin bag?
Well, as maybe the only person in this room who has pitched at a high school level, I would have, if you had the rosin and you had some sweat, it makes it stickier. It's
Cheater.
Hey, if I could have cheated, I would have. Yes, Seton.
As the only person in this room that pitched at a high school level. We
room.
never had rosin.
Yeah.
We never had any of that fancy crap. It was like, dude, what are you talking about, man? Just stick your hand in the spit in your hand, rub it in the dirt.
Yeah.
Do something like that.
But if we should get a rosin bag. And if I just said, and it dries your hand, you don't want your hand dry. You want it wet. The rosin will dry out your hand. So if I put sweat with it, now all of a sudden we got a little substance there. And now I can bring some cheese. As only I could. Here's some cheese. Let me see you get a piece of that. Yes, Todd.
And I guess they have to make it legal, sweat and rosin mix, because how do you determine that?
Well, your sweat is legal.
Right. People sweat. It's like, what do you say? Don't touch yourself.
What
don't
do they
touch
mean
your
sweating illegal?
Patrick Ewing couldn't have.
measure the levels of sweat. Once you reach a certain level of sweat, then you can't play anymore.
All right.